Well, it's about time I made a video about this. It's been on my mind since the whole argument started with PalWorld, but before I get into the meat and potatoes, let me talk about my experiences with this game. I have been thoroughly enjoying PalWorld, a sentiment I don't often express with new games nowadays. It's a refreshing experience in a gaming landscape of sludge. Impressively, the game has generated $7 million and has climbed the ranks to become one of the most played games on Steam, even rivaling the popularity of classics like CSGO in just 5 days. Great graphics, engaging gameplay, and a vibrant in-game world. It delivers what many have longed for in a modern Pokemon game, minus the inclusion of firearms. PalWorld isn't without its imperfections, as crashes and bugs do riddle the game, but it's good to know that this new roadmap is looking to fix it. PalWorld is still in early access, meaning it's not the finalized version, as explicitly communicated by the developers. I could spend hours talking about this, but that's not the primary focus today. Instead, let's dive into the salt, the reactions to PalWorld's success. Lately, the game's popularity has drawn attention from the Pokemon community, specifically the zealotous ones that I dub the Pokefreaks. I will not generalize and say all the fanbase is crazy. There are many in the community like my friend Gaara of the Rage, who appreciates both PalWorld and Pokemon and want to see Pokemon bring out amazing games. But the ones I'm going to refer to are the ones who blindly defend Game Freak and the Pokemon Company and consume their slop without question like the good little Mary that they are. The argument I have seen on Twitter and the internet suggests that PalWorld's developers are using AI to copy and steal designs from Pokemon and fan-made Pokemon. Yes, you did not mishear me. AI. This is where we are at, folks, in 2024 Anno Domini. What's wrong here is the inconsistency in criticism, as if Game Freak and Pokemon companies exempt from any wrongdoing. There is concrete evidence on Game Freak not only misleading their audience, but also venturing into the metaverse and NFT market, a move that has raised eyebrows, and NFTs as a whole is still failing to this day. Furthermore, the accusation of design plagiarism seems hypocritical considering Pokemon has its own history of borrowing ideas, such as, Digimon, and Dragon Quest to name a few. Ken Sugimori, the art director, drew inspiration from various sources, much like any artist throughout history. Not just that, but Pokemon also had competition from other clones, and they were praised. Yokai Watch, Fossil Fighters, Cassette Beast, Temtem to name a few, and you can argue that they copied Pokemon, but why stop there? These people even went after their own goddamn community when hearing about the fan-made Pokemon games. Nintendo and Game Freak should sue the devs of PalWorld for them stealing their work. Is that so? Do they not realize this will not work in their favor if they did, as much as you'd love to see that? If that were the case, companies out there can sue Pokemon for similar reasons. For instance, ice cream companies can argue that Vanillite from Pokemon looks like their products. What about that place in Pokemon Sun and Moon where it's inspired by Jurassic Park? Universal can sue them for copyright. Or what about the several Pokemon that mirror Godzilla's design? Toho should organize a lawsuit. Man, who knew the Pokemon Company had such a monopoly on mythological beings? I didn't know until now. Even so, the claim that PalWorld's developers using AI to copy Pokemon's designs has been debunked, so there's no argument in this. It's just copy-paste bullcrap. I just love how they are only focusing on the art aspect. There's so much more to it. PalWorld draws inspiration from various games, just like many others in the industry. Examples being the UI, inspired by Ark Survival Evolved, and the music inspired by The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. But they don't care about that, because it doesn't fit the narrative. But what they should care about is the death threats levied at the devs. What shameful behavior. Oh, and check this out. Even Nintendo is joining in. They noticed PalWorld's success and are showcasing Scarlet and Violet's gameplay in an attempt to woo in people. Nintendo's coping. They really think that we should go out there and pay $86 for a supposedly complete broken piece of crap game, including those DLCs, over a $30 superior, cheaper, and more complete game that just so happens to be an early access game. Judging by the comments, no one's buying that crap. I ain't buying that too. It's not happening. It's not happening. There are many examples, but for now, this video here, credit to PC Focus on the land of the twits, shows exactly why people like myself will never go back to current Pokemon. Not until they change. It was the straw that broke the Nummel's back. All of these people coping and seething is showing me that these people are scared. They know that PalWorld will never destroy Pokemon. Pokemon is a monolithic moneymaker. Remember, it is a $92 billion franchise. They know it'll be fine. What scares them is the thought that a smaller indie developer with a passion for Pokemon and video games produced a superior product at a lower cost without misleading their audience than the multi-billion-dollar corporation responsible for making the damn franchise of Pokemon itself. Instead of swallowing their pride, admitting there's an issue, and demanding better from the company, they instead would go after the little indie developer in an attempt to scare them into submission, repeating over and over the same reheated, regurgitated, broken record responses that would make a chatbot blush.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
And all it accomplished was that it made them the subject of ridicule, all the while watching them as the game sales and player count increases more and more and more. They will never see the reality that the company they and all of us have grew up with has changed for the worst. So they'll plug in their fingers in their ears and go,
You can't triple stamp a double stamp, Lord. You can't triple stamp.
Apart from a change in leadership, what Game Freak needs is some good competition. Players want them to improve. We want to see change, and from the sales and overall experience from others, this game reflects it. PalWorld is the game Game Freak needs. If they do take to heart the various gameplay choices and actually try, people will come back and Pokemon will become what it should have been a long time ago. And if they listen to only those Pokemon fanboys, not fans, fanboys, only bad things can come from it. But until that day comes and Pokemon releases a game that not only looks good, but has a fantastic story and gameplay, I'll stick with playing with PalWorld. Thank you so much for listening. If you do like this video, you know what to do. I'll see you in the next video. This is Ottendo signing out.